Welcome to Toffee TV. We have the news that Everton have made a signing. It is Idrissa Gueye from Aston Villa. Everton triggered the release clause, which was rumoured to be around £7.1, £7.2 million for the Senegalese centre midfielder, who is 26 years old. I'll just give you some stats on the guy. Signed last summer from Lille, has made 38 appearances, scoring once. Obviously, Aston Villa were relegated. And this guy had stats almost as good as Kante from Leicester. In fact, Leicester were looking to bring him in as Kante's replacement. But Steve Walsh, obviously former Leicester head of recruitment, has come in as director of football, identified him straight away and has brought him in, which seems a good piece of business. I know a lot of people were like, who? What? After being linked with so many big names. But don't forget, that's what Leicester did, and that's how Leicester won the Premier League. So, no arguments for me. He is someone who'll sit in front of the back four and will just scrap, fight, interceptions, tackles, which, you know, very, very good at. And we'll just snap on the heels and we'll get about the pitch and we'll break things down and then knock it on. So, you know, tell us what you think about this guy. Do you think he is this guy? Do you think he's someone we need? Would you have liked to have seen us got someone else? I mean, and how does this affect other people's futures? I mean, for me, you've obviously got the likes of Mo Besic, you've got the likes of Gareth Barry, you've got the likes of James McCarthy. Now, obviously, Gareth Barry was the player of the year last season, done a tremendous job. But for me, and I said this during the season, I thought we needed a little bit more. I thought we needed to catch teams higher up the pitch. And there was times when Mo Besic played, and that's what he did. He caught players higher up the pitch. It's something we've seen less of with James McCarthy last season. I mean, the last 2 seasons, he's really suffered. You know, it started with the injuries, and he just sort of took a downward spiral. We'll see how he develops under Ronald Koeman, but we definitely needed a player who could sort of do a couple of jobs, because that's been our big problem. I think for 3 years, we've played 2 sitting centre midfielders when one really can do that job if you get that right player. And that means that you can unleash another centre midfielder. You can get another box-to-box centre midfielder. It's something I always thought James McCarthy could do and have in his locker as well. And we didn't see it that much. Ironically, we've seen it last day of the season against Norwich City when David Unsworth was in charge. So, you know, can he do that job? Does this mean we can get more out of attacking players? Does this mean we can get more out of Ross Barkley, who can now sort of drift into more space that maybe was taken up by one of those 2 centre midfielders? And also, does this mean, you know, we'll have a little bit more pace in midfield, players that can get round the pitch, up the tempo a little bit? Because that was another thing last season. Bless Gareth Barry, but, you know, he's not the quickest player around the pitch. I mean, he's got a lot up there. But I think as a midfielders, we need to be snapping at people's heels a lot more and given them less time. And obviously, that's what Ronald Koeman wants. He wants to play a pressing game. If you're playing a pressing game, you need players who are snapping at people's heels. And that's what we haven't seen enough of in the last couple of years. I think personally James McCarthy can do that. I think Mo Besic can do that. But I think we need one player who can really set the tone and start doing that. Now, I don't know whether Guy will be the player. I really wanted to say Guy be the guy, but I didn't. I don't know if he can be the player, but if you can get more of those types of players that can show the players what you need to do, then that's a good start. I think we need to start upping the tempo and getting into teams, which we didn't see last season or the season before. So I think this is a good piece of business. It's a good start. It might not be the big name everyone was calling for and everyone was asking for, but that's not always the way it happens. You need to get a couple of bodies in. It seems that Blues, when you get linked to players, don't like them. But when you're not buying players, it's why aren't we buying players? I think it's important we just get a few bodies in now. Hopefully get a couple of big names in as well, and just build that squad up a little bit. And I think we'll look better for it. So tell us what you think. The man is signed. Idrissa Gueye is signed from Aston Villa for around £7.2 million. Trigger this release clause. We beat off clubs across Europe, in France, and in the Premier League for a signing. I think it's a good signing. Tell us what you think in the comments. If there's any Aston Villa fans out there, tell us what you think of him, what you've seen last season. I know Stan Collymore has said on Twitter that he was very impressed with him and was probably one of Aston Villa's best players last season, which wouldn't be hard but that's encouraging. He said he'll do a good job for us. So again, that is really encouraging. Tell us what you think in the comments. Thanks for watching Toffee TV. We'll be back soon.
Bull Street FC has been formed, and the guys on your fan channel are going to be taking part in our first game, the Game of Fans, against Spencer FC's #United. If you don't want to miss out on any of the action, all you've got to do is subscribe to the Bull Street channel right now. Do it right now so that you can say, I was there when we were shit.